Yo, what's up, everybody? Hitmanbk here, and I've got another. Pardon my voice, actually, real quick. I've been at ACL all weekend singing, so I'm sure my voice has changed a bit because, well, yeah, that can do a number on you. But I saw this morning before I was leaving today that there was actually a dev journal we didn't cover from Hexworks talking about the Umbral Realm for Lords of the Fallen that I really wanted to kind of go over, and maybe also hit on some of the things that have already come out for post-launch because a lot of people are already playing the game. So, first off, big thank you to everyone who's been subscribing and liking and commenting. We are 10 people away from 1,000, and that's just incredible. So huge thank. Oh, my daughter's back there, by the way. What? Oh, I do not need those. Thank you, though, Summer. So huge thanks to everybody. You know what? That's enough. Let's get into this. Let's do it. Okay. Well, you know what? I forgot to say, make sure you do subscribe, like, and comment. I cannot wait for this game. It comes out Friday the 13th. But this is all about the Umbral Realm. So they put out a thing called Umbral, the Realm of the Dead. And this was a dev journal from the game designer, this gentleman right here. And he kind of goes over what Umbral is, which I thought was really cool because, again, this is the part of the game I'm most excited about. And Umbral, the Realm of the Dead. And in terms of that, they had a clear idea. This is what it says. But they had a clear idea on what it should be like for players to be in the Umbral. Once dead, we wanted them to be trapped in a strange world, the world of the dead, existing in parallel to that of the living world, Axiom, which we know all about, right? They're using the Unreal Engine to create this parallel world using the lamp to be able to see into Umbral. Umbral is going to be dominated by primordial cosmic entity, like the cannot pronounce that. It was a murk looming everywhere before the beginning, before chaos, before even the gods that humans venerate existed. Yet Umbral is hidden from most mortals. It thrives in a plane of existence that is invisible. However, by fate or accident, you come across the Umbral Lamp, which is a device of ungodly powers that grants you the ability to peek into the other side. So how this has kind of worked to this design right here too, y'all, money. The lamp is a curious and rare object, one which grants the chosen bear a strong connection with Umbral. Little is known of the people who created the Umbral lamp, only that they were an ancient, almost extinct culture who worshipped what was known as the putrid mother. Players that devote that devote themselves to the primordial. What? What are you doing? Let me finish this. Oh my gosh. The Umbral Lamp provides its chosen bearer a series of unique abilities. Among those is the ability to peek and dive into the Umbral Realm. What? Someone?
I thought you did it so they can like hear me.
I know. Let me get this out. So what's most curious about the Umbral Realm is this right here, this death loop. I know you are a dinosaur. Most of the team, including myself, was alive in the 80s and 90s, and they have a taste for some old dark games. In some of those games, and in many pop culture references, they grew up with a protagonist that navigates an alternative version of reality, which is darker and grimmer. And that's clearly what they were trying to go for, right? With the Umbral Realm. So they're honoring those roots and using Unreal 5 to create this realm and this loop. The most challenging part to nail was probably how to combine Umbral with the death loop and the corpse run. So characteristics that are so characteristic of the genre, for the Souls genre, right? It's the death loop in a way that felt natural and balanced, integrating the death loop with Umbral nicely with a collaborative process with the whole team in which people would each play a prototype and we would collect their feedback to decide the next step forward. With Lamp Bearer, when we die, essentially when we, the player, dies, it is not the end. We have 2 lives granted by the mysterious Umbral Lamp that can also willingly decide to sacrifice one of their lives to go into Umbral and perhaps explore a secret corner of the level after some who are looking for some sweet loot. So again, don't forget, this is like you can do that. You can die. You can pretty much kill yourself and go into Umbral whenever you want, and there are secrets in there and some really good loot. So while they have another chance to live in the realm of the dead, they must keep in mind that if they die here, it is the true death. So if you die in Umbral, you are actually dead. And when that happens, this forces the player to do the more traditional corpse run, walk back to where they last vestige and grab all your crap, right? Very Souls. There's also a caveat. If a players die to an Axiom enemy, their vigor won't just be dropped on the floor for them to pick. If they want to retrieve it, they will have to extract it from the dead body of their murderer. In this way, we found a nice way in which the lore integrates perfectly with the mechanics and helps immersing the player into the experience even further. I did not know that, and that sounds really cool. I'm almost done, love. Hang on one second. Players need to be cautious because they will start an Umbral with half their FP withered. So any hit will slay at least half of their lives, which can be recovered by attacking enemies. Any form of healing does not work the same in Umbral, as it will give you a part of regular HP and a part in withered HP, which you'll have to cash by attacking enemies. So even the way your health regens in Umbral is going to be different. Also, 1 second, Summer. Lamp bearers are strangers in Umbral, which has its own ecosystem, and they're definitely not welcome there. So the more they will be affected by the dread, and the more dangerous creatures will come after them. So the longer you are in Umbral Realm, as we were saying before, the more dangerous enemies will come after you. And the players want to exit Umbral, and you will. They can do that by finding a vestige and resting there, resetting the world, and appearing again in fully restored in Axiom. They can also find some special effigies that will allow them to go back to the world of the living with their current stats. However, these effigies are reincarnations, do not work if there are enemies nearby. So that's kind of how, what? Oh my gosh, she's got my sock on. In terms of enemies in Umbral, the enemies in Umbral, or Umbries as they call them for short, had to feel like they belonged to the world of Lords of the Fallen, but not just to Axiom. So it has to actually feel different, right? And the twisted minds of the artists revisited their worst nightmares, and it seems to have given them essentially, this is saying they pulled from their nightmares to come up with these crazy enemies that we're going to find in Umbral. And these enemies are such like parasites. They're nasty little creatures that materialize in Umbral and learn to feed across the realms, feasting on the vigor of the living. If you ever wondered what the explanation was that happened to Bruce Willis in Unbreakable, he probably had the Umbral parasites. In terms of art direction and aesthetics, the team came together to essentially create like what that look would look like, right? And we see that up here. So this very like dead, skeletal, blue, heavy, medieval fantasy that we find in Umbral. And then the biggest thing to remember here, y'all, is the puzzle and secrets. So some places will only be accessible if players dive fully into Umbral, and it'll be worth the effort, but it will not always be easy. They can't but don't need to get obsessed with checking every single corner of the world in Umbral to find useful stuff. We welcome and reward any kind of obsessive madness for the twisted beauty of Umbral, but we don't make it necessary. It won't take long for players to realize that pale moths and lilies of the dead will tend to gather in places where Umbral forces are particularly strong, such as vestiges and effigies of reincarnation. Moth and lilies share, in fact, a bond with the putrid mother and their subtle presence. They usually... Y'all, look for moths and lilies for secrets. Secrets in a bridge between Umbral and Axiom. Once in Umbral, players will find some tortured souls, humans so arrogant that dared to get too close to the Umbral and got trapped. These ever agonizing figures still keep their souls with them and are fused to the Umbral Realm. I believe you can talk to these people. Yes. Thanks to that, the player will be able to use its soulflay ability to pull them and manipulate the Umbral environment, opening new paths and discovering secrets. So that's really cool. You can see how kind of secrets are going to work, how the Umbral Realm works, how death works in this game, which I think is, again, this is the most unique part of Lords of the Fallen that I'm most excited about. In the Q&A here too, someone had asked what the Umbral Eyes were. The Umbral Eyes, I believe, are the deal that, yeah, when the main eye becomes red, you better run for your life. So it's going to be a visual representation of the aggro you're pulling inside of Umbral. And hang on, Summer, I'm almost done. Are there any weapons or spells that the player can use that are stronger when in Umbral? There are some upgrades you can socket into your lamp that will grant you bonuses while in Umbral, but in general, we want the player to feel threatened. So sounds like there's nothing to like just give you a bonus while you're in there. Are there any unique treasure chests and loot drops only attainable? Yes, there are literally juicy things awaiting for you in Umbral if you dare to explore. So that just sounds awesome. And does Umbral have its own god? Umbral is governed by an ancient deity known to humans as the Putrid Mother. I cannot tell you much about her without entering spoilers. This is going to be tied to the story itself. Suffice that to say, she's a large of cosmic proportions. Oh, I bet you she's the big teeth thing, y'all. She's ancient like time itself, and she's hungry. Very hungry. So that's cool. And then there are NPCs that you can find only in Umbral. And these are going to, I guarantee you, be tied to side quests. So this is the little tea stuff they sent off in Umbral that I thought was really cool and well worth kind of discussing. We will pull this up so we can see this amazing. I love the art design in this game. So far, y'all, a lot of people have played this game already, and I've heard nothing but good things. I like Code Carnage. He's a really cool guy, and he seems to really like it. He says it's got a weighty combat that feels good. The biggest negative has been performance. It seems like there has been some performance issues. I think these are people playing on PC, so we'll see what happens when we get the game. Maybe a day one patch. Hopefully, a lot of those performance issues can be remedied. That's always a bummer to hear, but in general, it seems like people are actually really enjoying Lords of the Fallen and calling it what could be the better of the Souls-like games this year, which obviously is big because Lies of P has been a huge one for a lot of people. So that's pretty exciting to see all these people already playing it, hearing really good things about it, and knowing that we only have a handful of days left to get on this. So I'm really excited. The Umbral Realm has me the most excited. I can't wait to explore all of it, see what I find, make videos for y'all. Sound off in the comments on what you are most excited about for Lords of the Fallen, what you would like to see next, and hit that subscribe button. Come join the Filthy Casual Discord. Let's get this last 10, hit that 1,000. Why not? I'm Hitmanbk. Until next time.